you keep grinding, working hard, and enjoying the time that you're in, or the time period, or whatever phase in life you're in, and enjoy it and move on.
You are now tuning in to the Roughnecks Podcast with your host, Cole Nixon. Much love.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to tell you guys about Desert Fox Golf. I've recently partnered up with them, and they have some awesome products that you definitely want to check out. They have something called the Phone Caddy, which is the best phone holder in golf. It comes in many different colors, and they even have ones with funny sayings on it, like, I work to support my golf habit, and it takes a lot of balls to play like me. If you are like me and like to use a golf app while you're playing, then this is the thing for you, because it holds your phone in a convenient location right on the golf cart. They even have a cigar holder attachment for it. One of my favorite things is their drink aid tumblers. They have these awesome 17-ounce stainless tumblers with a screw-on lid to hold your favorite beverage while playing around a golf. They have different versions, from the classic swing aid to nurse aid, hunting aid, fishing aid, and my personal favorite design, the Patriot Aid tumbler. Head over to desertfoxgolf.com and use the promo code Roughnecks for 10% off your order. But let's get into today's guest.
Breakdown.
We're recording now.
Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. This is episode something. I don't know exactly when this is going to come out yet. But joining me today is a long-time awaited guest for a lot of you listeners who have listened for a long time, have heard me talk about him, and if you've listened from the beginning, you've probably been wondering where this guy's at. But Teddy freaking Houlihan is back on the Roughnecks Podcast. It has been 2 years.
Yeah, wow, that's a long time.
We recorded 6 episodes together, 6 of the beginning episodes, and then...
Yeah, and it was just a laptop in the middle.
Yeah.
And then
eventually I kind of got a mic, which I still have. I don't ever use.
Frame it.
I should just like shadow box it.
Yeah. Put it in some gold.
Yeah. I still don't know who gave it to me.
I don't know either.
I still think it was one of the coaches.
I doubt that very much.
Really?
I mean, I don't. I don't know.
I just don't know.
Who? You think D's just get like scouring?
Because it was after I'd already had like King, Cotter, Watts, all of the a lot of the coaches already on. Ikley was already on.
Yeah, I don't know. Might have been Ikley, if anybody. D doesn't know how to work Amazon. I don't think he would buy the mic.
And he'd deliver it to my house and not put your name on it. It just was a delivery to my house. That's the thing, is you would have to know my address.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So I feel like it was either like a close friend of mine, a family member, or one of the coaches.
Somebody that just continues to have your location. I found that out today, as I have your location.
I checked where you were at on the way. I was
did you?
Holy crap. Because I looked, one day I think I was going through the old group chat, and when you click on info to go look through the pictures, I was like, holy shit, I still have all their locations. I didn't even realize it. We still share our locations with each other. It was weird because it was when you were back home too. So you were in Texas. Nate was in Mass. Dan was in playing shitty, and I was back in Pataskala. And I was like, holy crap, we
spread out across the map.
It used to be we're all in the same circle. Now it's just all over the place.
I was like, I saw Nate's because whatever. I was just after I saw that I had yours, and I was like thinking, why do I still need this man's
Why did we share it really to begin with? Was it
because people would get lost. Get lost. Or you'd wake up.
I do remember now why we
or it's like, where is everybody? Everyone's gone. We gotta figure this out.
Well, he's in the same building somewhere.
Just cross campus somewhere.
He's at the police station. This isn't good. Somebody go pick him up.
Just let him sit there for a day. Make him think about his decisions.
I do remember that. But yeah, we originally started this podcast together after a failure of a podcast. Fan Speak Sports.
Oh, that's what it was called? I was trying to remember that.
Fan Speak Sports.
I think it had a good run. for what it, you know, what I mean,
Yeah.
what it was worth.
Definitely learned a lot from it.
Yeah, or, yeah, especially you.
It's a lot easier doing like guest-based, conversation-based than like focusing on one thing. Like I feel like your listenership expands immensely.
Yeah, ties you down to just one
Mhm.
area. Yeah, but yeah, whatever. I mean, for what it was worth. I mean, not much was going on around that time.
Yeah,
that
the
was
reason
what?
we ended it was because COVID.
Yeah,
And because it was about sports. We're mainly talking football.
Yeah.
And we did like 2 episodes really of the draft.
yeah, I remember that one.
But that was the end of it. I'm pretty sure it might still be
That
out
was
there.
on Zoom.
Yep, with
Yeah.
me and my other buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That-
sat up in my room, and I don't think I even drank.
I doubt that very much.
I don't drink as much anymore. I know it doesn't seem like it. It's one of my goals this year.
As to what?
It's cut down.
Cut down to what?
The
I feel
hardest
that's your
part is
goal
the summer.
every year.
The summer's hard.
My goal is to cut down.
You know how it is with me in the summer.
Yeah, it's with everybody.
It's a lot easier to drink. But then in the winter, I get into that same habit where I'll just come home and be like, oh, I need a beer.
Yeah, well, I don't know, something about beer in the winter though. It's oddly still refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
You go
Like
out
after a
and,
long day of work,
Yeah.
or like if you just had a long day, you go home and open a beer. Even if it's just one or two, you're like, man, I just feel better now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just irreplaceable. I don't know why it's so good.
My problem was though is I couldn't just have one or two. It was always like 6 or 12.
Yeah, but yeah,
I was still stuck in college for a while. Me and
Yeah.
Dan talked about this. He was like, you were living in college still. Like, well,
yeah. I don't know if yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. Never mind. I was gonna say. Something. Yeah, part of it too is like, I don't know. It's COVID happened, and you know, that would have been a time. Nothing was going on here in second, especially as a senior. Like that was your kind of time to thrive.
that
Like,
sucks.
you guys, like especially still, like you being a year below, it like coming back, it still wasn't the same.
No.
So I mean, you still didn't really have that. I don't know if you ever
Our
really
partying,
did.
no, we never partied. Not like the only partying we did that year was graduation.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's like the only partying we did.
Yeah. So you're still not getting that.
And Clancy shut down. That did not
That's
help.
a big part of it. Yeah. So I mean, still like like that's stuff you got to run through in college. Like you got to have that phase. I mean, I don't know if you.
It's
have
a
to have
good
that
phase.
It's good,
Everybody
yeah.
has it. Anybody that drinks usually goes through that type of phase where they drink more than they should.
Yeah.
And it sounds bad, but it's a good thing to go through.
Yeah, you
'Cause
kind of know.
Then you learn, oh, this isn't good. Like
Yeah.
this isn't what I want to do.
25 beers. Yeah. I don't know if I can.
Shut up.
Yeah.
No, what I finally realized was like I was late to work almost every day.
Oh, really?
Well, and it was hard because I was like switching from that COVID, sleeping in all the time.
Yeah.
Like when we went home, I'm sure you were similar. Like when we got sent home your senior year, like I just slept till like noon almost every day. Like, we'll see. Yeah, most of my classes, I had a few that I had to actually be on for, but most of them, like, you didn't have to actually be on.
Oh, you didn't have like a Zoom deal?
Some of them, a couple of them,
Yeah.
but a lot of them, like some of our professors were old. Some of my professors were like real old and like couldn't work that stuff, so they would record a video and just upload it.
Oh, that's nice.
It was so nice. And like the couple classes that I had to be on, I just get on, and you didn't have to have your camera on. So
Yeah.
like I just get on and like go to sleep.
You lucky duck. But
But then I was up till 5 a.m. doing my homework and stuff.
Dude, what?
Not really, but I wouldn't do anything all day. I'd sit there and play video games, or like just mess around. But then like 10 o'clock would come, I'm like, oh man, I should probably
Yeah.
do this paper
Do
that's due
something.
in 2 hours.
Jesus
I did that a lot.
Christ.
But yeah, but I was like going through that spell of still trying to get out of that sleep pattern that I was in and being at work at 8 a.m., which isn't even that early.
Yeah.
But for a college kid, 8 a.m. was early.
Yeah, that was like the worst thing.
Because like if we and Dan were talking about it, like in high school, you're like, oh, an 8 a.m. class, whatever. And then you get to college, and you're like, I never want to take an 8 a.m. class again. I don't like them.
Yeah, that was it's killer. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think they're like, especially through college, there's things you just gotta go through, and you gotta. It's part of just finding yourself. I don't know.
Mom told me the best thing for me was college.
Yeah.
Because she said you grew up a lot.
Oh, 100% you did.
From my freshman year to my senior year,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, I totally agree. At one point, I thought you were the most responsible out of the four of us.
Well, for the most
Dan
part.
was probably the most responsible.
Probably.
Dan had like a 401k as a sophomore.
Yeah, but like his dad, and he talked about it, like his dad was like an inspiration on that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And big shout out to Big E. I mean,
Yeah, Big E's a great.
yes.
The whole family.
Started his own company, I guess.
Oh, he walked away?
Yeah.
Or he's doing it. Really?
Yeah, he started his own company.
That's badass.
So
That's good for them. They're great people.
oh, awesome. Yeah.
Great people.
But
what else is on this?
well,
on this deal?
I usually kick off the episodes by allowing the guests to tell the background on themselves. So, who is Teddy? Who is Teddy nowadays?
Nowadays?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
You coach.
Coach.
And that's pretty much your life.
Pretty much my life. I think that's it. I've turned. I think I've gotten a little more.
You've adulted.
Yeah, adulted a little bit.
Isn't it weird? Like we haven't seen each other since what? I graduated pretty much.
No.
Oh no, I saw you a couple times. I came to your house one time.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw you
the year
recently.
after.
I've
I
seen
graduated.
you.
Yeah, it's been within a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was when
Yeah.
you guys played at Denison, and then I drove Nate back to your house.
Yeah.
Because Jesse was too hungover and shit.
Yeah. Coyle cried.
Oh Jesus.
No, but I don't know. I think that's why one thing that I have kind of grown to hate a little bit. Just whatever. Been away from college for 3 years, and that's not seeing my buddies every day,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks.
Like I hardly hang out with anybody anymore.
Yeah, just
Especially
working.
like not since I moved in here, and I hope like some like my buddies from like my hometown and stuff don't think I'm like a dick, but it's like I feel like we're all starting to get that, like we're moving into houses, we're getting girlfriends,
Yeah.
like life's happening.
Yeah,
To where you don't
sucks.
have as much free time because like my buddy Alex, he's now living next to my parents.
Oh, really?
It's his grandpa's house, and he's living there now because his grandpa is in a nursing home, so he's living in it till they end up selling the place.
So he's got his own deal.
Yeah, so like he's living there, but me and him talked one day, and it was like, man, I wish he still lived there, and I was like, yeah, but it'd be bad. He was like, oh, we'd be drinking every night.
Yeah,
It'd be really
yeah.
bad. Like it would be like we'd have to like tell ourselves like we're just gonna hang out and not actually
Yeah.
drink for once.
Sit and talk.
Yeah, but like because he lived just around the corner from me as it was. Like within 2 minutes, he could be at my house, and like 3-4 times a week he'd come over and we'd just sit up in the bar and play darts or like just hang out and drink some beers. But if he would have been living literally walking distance,
Yeah, it's been
it's a
tough.
whole different world.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a love-hate thing. You grow up and you like all this responsibility, and you get your alone time, and you're on your own. But I don't know.
Well, it's like this stuff, like the basement, like redoing it and getting it looking nice. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
But then like you realize
fantastic.
I have to pay for this.
Yeah.
And I have to like it's fun to do, but it's like you're like, man, I wish I could do this, but I'm like, I look up how much it is. I'm like, never mind, I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm gonna put barn doors on those doors or on those door spaces, but I'm like, I don't want to pay $300 for a
Yeah.
barn door.
It's awful.
Even lumber, like even if I built my own, it'd still be
Lumber's
expensive.
awful right now.
It's gone down a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
still bad.
But yeah, coach. I don't know, from Texas. I think.
I feel like that's a very important part of you.
From Texas.
Texan Teddy.
Yeah,
I mean, that was your nickname for
forever.
Still
Yeah,
probably
still
is.
Yeah. And I more time I spend up here, I kind of get away from that.
So I wanted to. I think I've asked you before, but like, why Ohio Wesleyan from Texas?
I mean, to be honest, it stems from coming up on an overnight. It was the first time I really ever been out of the state of Texas, and I really liked it. It was like a spring practice or something, and did the workout, and met Watts, and then stayed with Ross Hickenbottom and David
Which was
Pugh. Yeah, Ross was
Hickenbottom was a very good receiver, wasn't
he
he?
was a dog. He was a really, really good player. Pugh was he was like a good guy, good player too, and then Dougie Fresh. But just staying with them, and it was kind of one of those things where you pick D3 football, and like to pick D3 football.
And that doesn't exist in Texas, right?
No, yeah. There's tons of D3 football.
Oh, yeah,
I had a couple
Baylor.
D3s, yeah.
So,
Hardin Simmons,
but there is other
Trinity,
states that it
TLU.
doesn't even exist in, right?
Yeah, Florida's one of them. There's no.
That's
D3s
why
in
we get a lot of Florida kids.
Yeah,
Does Cali have any?
Cali has a couple, but they're awful. Like education wise, facility wise, they're
because that's one thing I've always wondered, and then I realized like they don't even have that option.
Yeah,
they have probably some JUCOs, and then D2 or D1,
or NAIA too now.
Yeah,
NAIAs. But Northeast, it's kind of where you get the best of both worlds as far as like good football, good education, good facilities, all that good stuff.
I mean, yeah, they're literally all over Ohio.
Yeah. And then you go to Michigan, and there's good ones in Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, like that. This whole Chicago, West Virginia too, even. But I don't know, and it's kind of one of those things, and you kind of know what I'm talking about, just going through it, and it's you come here, you come to OWU, and it's a big it's a big family thing. Like between the highs and the lows, like everyone, like no one on the team really hates each other. Like everyone's buddies. You hang out, like those are your actual buddies.
There was never maybe one person, like never really anybody that I didn't like on the football team.
Yeah,
ever. Like
I committed right there to Watts. I mean, maybe looking back on it, like I didn't. Probably should have went on some more visits, but I don't regret anything.
I mean, I went on like day visits to like Wittenberg, Otterbein, Heidelberg.
Then yeah,
those might be the only ones. And I talked a lot to some of these other schools. Ohio Wesleyan was the only one I did an overnight at.
Yeah,
and after that overnight, I think that night in Cam's room with Jesse and Cam,
I was there that night.
It might have been the next night that you were there.
The next one?
For Saturday is when everybody came over to the room. I came 2 nights.
Yeah.
I stayed an extra night since I lived close. So then Friday, after the workout and everything, I committed. I believe.
Yeah.
That weekend I committed, though.
Is Cam's not a Pataskala guy?
Yeah.
He is?
Yeah, we played in high school together.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, me and Kat went to high school together. Like that, we were all...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and Madison went to our rival school.
Oh, so that's why they were so tight.
Yep. She went to Licking Heights.
So I guess that's me. I think I've gotten a little bit more.
You should just be this guy from Texas.
Yeah. That was it. To be honest, it was. But I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't an A. Like, I still don't see much. Like, if somebody, like, this thing, I ask everybody to give background on themselves. For me, I'd be like, I put in pools.
Yeah. I used to have long hair.
I should see her the other day. My 4 pictures from college, and like my first one was freshman year. Me couldn't grow any facial hair, but I had long hair.
Yeah,
and then sophomore year, I actually had some facial hair and had long hair again. That was even longer because I didn't cut it.
It was ridiculous.
Junior year, I had a haircut. That was the year I went short hair.
Yeah.
Senior year, I had this very bad looking mullet.
Yep.
She looked at me and she goes, "You look like a crackhead." It is bad. It is. It was like you look at it and it's like, oh, not bad, not bad, not bad. What the fuck happened in the 4th year?
I saw
COVID happens. What happened?
The pictures you guys have, like right by the door.
Yeah.
The long hair doesn't look bad.
That was actually a mullet that Kurt, Shell, and Sierra cut.
Oh yeah, you should just go back to them. Can you even grow long hair now?
Yeah. I haven't cut. Like if I don't, I just let it grow. It'll grow back.
No,
I don't cut it. No, that was. I had the long hair, and Sierra was giving me shit. She was like, "You just need to cut it." We were over at Shell and Kurt's. Like, just cut it. And I was like, "I want to do a mullet like one last time." And Kurt's like, "I'll do it."
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And we may have had a few beers, and they grabbed the chair, and I sat in the chair in the fucking kitchen, and they cut my mullet. Like there's Shell took pictures of Sierra and Kurt cutting my mullet, and it was like Kurt was like taking a lot off the top, and Sierra's like, oh God.
Oh, no.
And Kurt was like, I'm doing the full Billy Ray. Like, you're getting it's getting, you're doing the mullet, like party, or what is it? Business in the front, party in the back. Like, you're getting that. And I was like, I'm going to cut it. Because I told Sierra, I think it was like 4th of July, I'll cut it. After 4th of July, it'll be gone.
What, you just want to look real professional?
Well, I don't know. It just, it's time to go away from the long hair, maybe. Depending on like where I go in this business world with things.
You just put it up in a ponytail.
My boss used to have long hair.
He would put it up in a ponytail?
Nah.
Because
he always used to think it was stupid, and I was like, I used to do it, like, because he would always complain. He's like, man, it's freaking hot, and I'm like, just put it up. Like, who's gonna judge you here?
Yeah, nobody.
Like, Bob, the old guy, might give you crap, but like, you're giving him a paycheck, so how much crap is he really gonna give you?
This here long haired hippie.
He always used to give me crap for my long hair, but I was
paychecks.
like, I always just give him crap because I was like, you're just mad because you can't grow hair no more because he's bald.
Oh,
I was like, you can't grow it. You had long hair a little bit for a few times.
Yeah, I had long hair a couple times. Actually, yesterday, I told Sarah, I was like, I think I'm going to grow my back out.
Do it. Why not?
Well, I don't, to be honest, the reason why is I don't think it's, especially in the coaching world, I don't think it's real professional.
It's not. I mean, it is, but it's certain.
Yeah, you gotta coach certain. Like if I was coaching like Coastal Carolina, like yeah.
But see, here's the thing: is like you got to time it right because you don't want that weird like the awkward stage that everybody has during like recruiting season.
Yeah, then you just look weird. Who is this guy?
Going into schools like, so I'm Coach Houlihan. They're gonna look at you and be like, I don't want to go to the
Sideburns are humble. Who is this guy? I cut it up.
But no, I'll talk to you before we listened to Co's new song.
Yep.
And I was gonna tell you, so you did introduce me to Co.
Yep.
And I still bring that up.
Yep.
But my boss one day, because like he's been getting into some other type of music and kind of like getting away from like the mainstream type stuff,
which is awful.
It is
so awful.
I don't even like listening to Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, I don't know why you would.
But is Parker starting to fall into that?
100%.
I believe you.
Yeah,
he still makes pretty good music, but like his songs are like Morgan Wallen's, where they get old quick.
Yeah,
like
all his old stuff's still pretty good.
Yes,
I still love all that stuff. But no, like when I came up here, and you guys have awful taste in music. People in Ohio are awful.
It depends on where.
Dude, you were talking to me about Florida Georgia line.
Okay, but listen, it depends on where you go because you'll go to certain parts of Ohio where they listen to like Hank Williams and Johnny Cash, and that's it. So like, but like where I was from, I was one of the few kids anymore that really listened to country, but I did listen to the mainstream stuff.
And I was like, you guys.
I remember when I was taking a shower listening to music, and you came in and you're like, turn that shit off.
It was awful. Tired of it. Yeah, and then you got whatever. I was trying to give you guys.
Well, when you introduced us to Co, he didn't really have much out.
No, he had it.
Maybe
he just dropped Austin. He had a Noise Complaint out, and he had his.
Now he's got 2 more albums after that.
Yeah, Harold's on High.
He released that our junior year. I'm pretty sure.
Harold's on High. That was
in that Sancho.
Yeah,
because I remember I have a video of you screaming that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song. Yeah, Harold's on High, and then dropped the other one, and then he just released this last one.
I forget what he called it.
Yeah. But yeah,
I didn't like that one at first, but it's one of those. The more I listened to it, the more I liked it.
You're insane. Anything that man touches is gold.
Well, see, I don't know. I do that with a lot of artists anymore that I like. Even Zach Bryan, who I love.
I showed you that guy too.
No.
Yeah, we were in Chase's room upstairs. You were like, "Who is that?"
I swear I do. I swear I remember. I found I was looking for new music and found Heading South because that was the only song our junior year that he had out. That he had actually released. He had other stuff on YouTube.
No, I was playing it up there. I was chilling. We were chilling up there in Chase's room.
I swear I showed you him, but I don't know. crazy how far he's came from our junior year.
Yeah.
Because our
Shout out
junior
to
year,
him.
it was literally just heading south, and he was unheard of.
Yeah, he's done a great job of staying true to him.
Yeah, he's not gonna like wasn't this like his first like produced album that he just did or whatever.
I think so.
But like
Yeah,
he's gonna sing his music, and that's
not care. Yeah,
he's kind of like, it reminds me of like a Chris Stapleton, Cody Jinks. They don't care. I mean,
do their thing.
Yeah, I mean they're all gonna make a crap, because that's the thing is I feel like that type of country is starting to intertwine its way back in.
Yeah,
because you're starting to hear
outlaw country.
You're starting to hear Zach Bryan on the radio, Cody Jinks on the radio, Chris Stapleton a lot on the radio. Like you're hearing those guys on the radio a lot more than they ever. That type of country was like, it was all Florida Georgia Line. Freaking Russell Dickerson.
Yeah, that guy was awful.
I saw him live. I had free tickets. Somebody gave me free tickets, so I went, and it was Riley Green was the opener.
It's good.
And the only song he really had out at that time was "In Love" by, like, it was like his first.
Love.
Yeah, those were like the only songs that were like popular of his. He was the opener. Then Jordan Davis and Russell Dickerson. So like that concert just like went like this, like downhill from the opener. I was like, I like the opener, and then you get the Russell Dickerson. He puts on a good show, but it's like his music's so
stuff. But I think part of it too is like,
and when you're wearing skinny jeans and Converse and you're a country singer,
it's tough look. Yeah, V-necks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Part of it was like growing up in Texas. Like we had like there was Green Hall. You have all these dance halls where like real country singers would play. It wasn't like big, like a whole center. There were honky tonk bars and stuff like that.
That's
so you go.
I don't follow Granger as much anymore, but like he always like he liked playing more at like Billy Bob's and like these smaller places in Texas, but like you have to travel and play
where make the money.
Yeah. So like, but he always loved it. One, it was close to home, and two, like it was just a different vibe.
Yeah, it's one of the best. Like especially when it's like there's the staples in Texas, where like it's you got it like growing up, like you got to go see Josh Abbott band, Randy Rogers, Kenny Fowler, Roger Kreger. You got to see all those guys, but then like it's like the young guys. Like I remember seeing Cody Johnson. I think it was I was in the 7th grade, and he was opening. He was opening up for Roger Kreger, and like nobody heard of him, and all he had was one album. Yeah, like now he's all over the radio and whatever. People are crying to his songs, but like it's like that's. I think that's where like you have the most music, and like people like it's actual music.
And like Nashville's turning to poppy, like. It's not like, I know it's like the country music, whatever is what it's called, or something. Isn't it called like the country music city or whatever?
Yeah.
But like in reality, it's turning like, because everybody wants to do Nashville. Everybody wants to go live in Nashville, and the people that are living there, it's like you're not country. It's your wannabe country.
Yeah, they're pop.
Yeah, and then I feel like. I'm worried that like Montana and those states are going to change a lot too now because of Yellowstone.
Nah, I don't know about Montana.
People would shoot them.
Yeah,
and John Dutton will come out.
John, get off my land, boy.
You watch it? I'm assuming.
Yeah. Don't tell me anything about it. I haven't seen.
I've missed the past 2 episodes, so I don't know.
I haven't seen the whole season.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like the first 2 seasons were awesome.
Good, yeah.
And then I feel like it's starting to kind of take a downhill. There's some good, there's still, but like the first 2 seasons, it was every episode you were like, oh my God. Like the entire episode was just like, holy crap, what just happened?
Well, last season it ended well. Like, it was
they do a very good job of like, they usually try to end episodes to make you like tune back in and end seasons to where you're like, oh my God. Because I remember when this season started, I remember asking Sierra, I was like, what even happened at the end of the last season?
Got blown up.
And I watched the end of like that episode before the season premiere, and I was like, oh, that's what happened. Now I remember.
Everyone's dead.
Who's your favorite on Yellowstone? I know who this is probably going to be.
Rip.
Yes.
No, I really like old boy. What's his name?
Casey?
Yeah.
I like Casey a lot too.
But I like him because he's a good family man.
He is. And like I don't say he's the black sheep of the family, because I think we can kind of know who that is at this point.
Yeah, it's the one that was adopted.
I hate him. He's partially ruining the show, in my opinion.
Well, you need a heel.
Yeah.
Like, what were they gonna do? Have them just fight over land for 4 seasons
And be a happily ever after family?
Yeah. Their mom comes back to life.
Have you watched any of the 1823 or whatever?
No, part of the reason is I hate Tim McGraw.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sierra's mom loves Tim McGraw.
Of course. Anybody that was...
I heard he plays it really well, though.
I have no doubt he plays very well.
But I also... Isn't he against guns? I'm pretty sure I heard that. Like, I'm pretty sure he's against guns, but he... Obviously, in that movie, has a gun 24/7.
Yeah. I don't know. The guy... His dad, whatever. Like, he had the easiest life. Dude could have been whatever he wanted to be and decided to be a country singer. His dad was a Major League Baseball player.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, I mean, what, like...
yeah, but the ladies love him. He wears those white t-shirts.
Yeah. Clearly, he wasn't good at baseball, so he was like, oh, man, I got to figure out something quick.
I feel like you were a baseball player.
I hate baseball. I take that.
But you watch it.
I watch it. I love baseball. Like, or I don't love it, but like I love going to Astro games and like watching it, especially like in the World Series, in the playoffs. But I don't like it. I've never played it.
I played up until like 5th grade, and then I switched to AAU basketball, travel basketball.
Basketball was your thing. That was like your second.
That's where, well, it was my first love. That's what I loved until I played varsity football. And like that first game my sophomore year that I got to play they threw me in the second half. They told me at halftime, like, hey, you're going in. And I was surprised too, because like there was a junior in front of me, and but it was a fairly close game. Like we were only up maybe 10, 14, if that. And it wasn't like we were blowing them out, but at halftime, like our defensive coordinator walked up to me and was like, hey, you're going in for Bobby. And I was like, what? And like all my friends were like, dude, you're going in. Because like all of us sophomore, we had a really good junior class for our class. And that was Cam's senior year. And there was a handful of seniors that played a bunch. But we had, 11 people on offense, 11 people on defense, which is unheard of really around our town. Like usually people play both ways.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But we had 11 people on offense, 11 people on defense, and like only a couple people maybe went both ways. And they were like, "You're going to have to after this half." And I'm like, "What?" But then after that, like that night, like it was like playing under the lights. It's just, I'm sure it's even different in Texas where you guys have college stadiums. But like just that feeling of playing with your childhood friends that you literally have grown up with for 16, 17, 18 years.
Yeah.
And playing with them, and it was like that was the moment that and I'll say this, coaching in basketball, some coaches kind of ruined basketball for me because I wasn't a big, and I'm not usually one that's like, I don't like that coach, like that coach sucks or whatever, but I'm like, just certain ways they handled things and went about things I wasn't. And I was a 2-time captain in basketball.
Oh,
junior and senior year. I was in like I said, we had a really good senior class ahead of me, and I beat out some of the seniors my junior year. And
you didn't want to play in college?
I wasn't good enough to play. I never got recruited or anything.
Well, you could have just woke up one day.
Well, I quit putting in as much effort in the basketball, and I put more effort in the football after sophomore year, really.
Yeah.
But it just... coaches can ruin a game for you, or they can make it the love of your life. It's
I agree.
And I'm sure it's hard as a coach to try and like, yeah, you're going to push this kid, but like I don't want to push him away.
Yeah, and
it's like a little bit different in the college world. I feel like because college, it's like you're replaceable.
Yeah, to some degree, and I think like
maybe more at the D1 level, but
yeah, I think that's one of the best things about D3 football is everybody has some kind of role, some kind of job.
Mm-hmm.
And you're important. And
freshman year, all I did was special teams and
Yeah, and it's not
I
like
love
no
that.
one forgets about you. Like
No.
you have a value.
Yeah.
But and as far as like coaching is, I don't know if it's because like I'm not too far removed from like being like one of the guys, but like you never really. I think you want to be honest with
Mhm.
everybody, but like you never want them to like feel unvalued.
You have to coach certain players differently.
Yeah, I think my style is pretty much the same. It's like just being honest, but also like
You can't be extra hard. You can be extra hard on certain kids that you know that can take it, that
Yeah.
want that constructive criticism, but like you can't yell and scream at some players because
well,
they'll
like
just fold.
that's one of the things. Like it's what I've learned is, especially in college, like I'm not a yeller or a screamer, really.
Really,
Yeah, more of a like, all right, like let's
more of a headbutt people without a helmet on. You only did that a couple times.
Yeah, but it was like especially in college, like these are like you're a grown man.
Yeah,
they're gonna scream at you.
You literally are an adult.
Yeah, but I'll tell you like this was wrong and this is why, and like what do you think about this? Like no, we got to do it this way. Do this, break it down. Like it's more of like an explaining, like a different thought process.
Yeah.
Like you think about doing like this, and part it's too is we were around a couple like screamers and yellers. It just wasn't my bag.
I always loved when Mason Tomlin. I will never forget him breaking the ping pong paddles that we used for because we had ping pong paddles in college that like if it was a certain, which I don't know if I can give this tip away.
Yeah, don't.
Okay,
we still do it.
But
Yeah.
we had ping pong paddles, and he was talking. It was at Wabash, and they kicked us into take the first two series defensively.
Yeah.
And I remember it coming over to the bench, and he was sitting there, and he was talking to the D line, and he got so mad and slammed them together, and you just saw pieces start flying. The rest of that game, he was holding like a half-broken ping pong paddle.
Yeah, well, I'm in the.
Now he's at
box.
freaking Iowa State.
Yeah, I just saw him this past weekend.
Really?
Yeah, we were down.
He's
like, coaching
engaged
match.
now too.
Yeah, about to be a dad.
Is that like known?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The baby's due in April.
Oh,
so it's right around the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's doing awesome, and
I recorded with him, and he was driving from Iowa to Ohio, and he was in the car on FaceTime, and his phone died, or like we lost connection like 3 times.
not worth it at that point. He's a great coach.
Yes.
He's going to make a lot of money. He's very good at his profession.
Yeah.
But Mason's a great guy. But yeah, I guess going back to it, me and him are two very different coaches. I like being in the box. He likes being a field guy.
You're still in the box?
Yeah.
Is it? So you like being in the? Why do you like being in the box?
See everything.
Is it harder to coach from the box? Because I feel like, with tight ends, when you were the tight end guy, maybe you don't have to talk to the players, I feel like, as much.
Yeah.
Because we didn't utilize our tight ends. I mean, this year I feel like we did a little bit more.
Yeah, we did a lot too. Yeah, when I was.
And it's changed a little bit, but like we didn't, like, those weren't players that were in necessarily every single play.
Yeah.
Where, like, you got to talk to your quarterback after every series. You got to talk to your offensive line after defensive line. Like, now that you're a defensive line, is it a little more difficult because you can't necessarily, of course, you have Coach D, so that's a little bit different. Yeah. Coach D's just already ahead of you before.
Well, that part of my my deal was, I was up in the box and like it was concepts, telling D what the concepts were on the series, and then what we did wrong. So like it's kind
he always does the. So what did you see?
Yeah. Yeah,
I always remember that. And we'd always just sit there and wait for him. You'd see him with his head down listening. And then he'd look up and be like, all right, so what they did was...
No, I now would talk really fast. He hated me for that. He's like, slow down. All right, sorry. But in part of it, too, is like, especially with somebody like Coach D, like, all you need to do is give him what he needs. and then he can run the whole thing. I mean, he's a legend. Like
He's been there, what, 30,
27 years.
27 years?
Yeah. So like all you need to do is just tell him what he needs to hear, and then he can handle the rest. And then and then that was my thing where it's like, and Casey did a really good job too with me and him communicating, and like Casey knows D-line play, so like he can coach. But like my job on game days was, like I said,
they ran this play.
Yeah. Tell him what he wants, like tell him what he needs to know, and then when you go into halftime, then I would talk to the D-line and kind of make my adjustments. Or if there was something that like in between a timeout or like whatever, the offense moving the ball a little bit, like me telling D like, hey, somebody on the D-line needs to do this. But I'm very fortunate to be in that position where like having, especially like D and Watts and like even Wardo last year, like being able to learn from guys that are very, very, very good coaches and coordinators.
Well, those are all guys that have been there for a long time, and been coaching in general for a long time.
Yeah.
Son of a nutcracker.
And it was awesome, and one of the coolest things like I kind of learned is once from Wardo is like being an offense coordinator, like you got to be able to kind of take emotion out of it and be a lot like extremely logical with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side with D is like being a defense coordinator on the field, like you got to like part of like calling defense play calls is like reading in on emotions a little bit. So it was awesome learning from those guys. Very fortunate for that.
The weirdest thing is like D could see they line up a certain way, and I don't know if it came from the box sometimes, but like I'm sure it did. But he'd freaking just be like, "They're gonna run this play," and he'd yell it out.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, "Okay."
He's a wizard.
And then they'd run that play, and I'm like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah, he's good. And part of it is like the way D watches film is like it's awesome.
He sees things that nobody else sees.
Yeah.
He'll literally be like, when the offensive lineman has his right hand down, like he'll pinpoint one guy. Like he'll be like, when this guy does this, he's doing this, and it's like, how'd you see? But then you'll like watch film and you'll look at it and you'll be like, right, like what? But like, I mean, how many hours do you think he spends watching film?
Yeah, he's so my thing was like, especially like on days where I was around the weight room, was like try to beat D in the office. And man, that's a tough job in itself.
Okay, older people in general don't sleep.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He watches so much. It's awesome. It's some of the best stuff.
He was one of my like favorite coaches that I've ever been around, without a doubt.
Yeah, he's a great players coach.
You just learn so much from him, and he's not afraid to tell you when you're being a pussy.
Oh.
Even though we'd make fun of him for his gimp knee.
Dude, he's D's as tough as all can be, though.
We always used to give him crap because he started coming out with his knee brace on. I'm like, he's getting into it today.
That's how you knew it was going down. He's awesome, man. One of my favorite people.
Yeah, without a doubt. But how was it? I had to ask this question. Coaching players you played with.
It was fun, to be honest.
Was it hard to go? I mean, because it was the year after college.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people, like me, like Dan, you lived with, partied with. Like, I mean, we'll be real. It's college. It happens. And like, is it hard to distinguish that sometimes that coach, like I'm your coach.
Yeah.
But also like you're my friend.
I don't know. One part of it was the room I had, being the tight ends. It was a brand new, fresh room.
Yeah, you didn't have anybody in that room.
So it was nice to where they could buy in. Like, oh, this guy, just got done. Knows the position, this and that,
and knows what the program is about. And like, I can go up and ask him a school-related question, even.
Yeah.
And he literally knows
what's going on.
You could go ask like I don't know if anybody ever did this, but like people could.
Hunter did it all the time.
What about what professors do I take?
Yeah.
What professors should I take? What professors shouldn't I?
Yeah, but me and him sat down quite a bit and got that out. And the other thing was like, especially with your class, was like, there's no reason for me to. it's kind of like a humbling thing where it's like first of all, I think just as a program as a whole, we do a really good job of like kids, like guys growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's not like I need to.
I always remember Watts asking like, "What are your plans after college?"
Yeah.
Like, what's next? And like, and the man's got a million connections.
Millions.
So like, I remember my freshman year, him asking me like what I'm planning to major in and stuff, and I told him computer science, and he's like, "Oh, I know such and such, and I can get you an internship to this and this." And I'm like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like, I've talked to you like 10 times since I've been here. Not
I'd like to work
times.
for the president. Watts, can you make that happen? Yeah, he's awesome with all that. But it's finding that happy medium where it's like, yeah, at some point you kind of need to turn it on, but it doesn't need to be on all day.
Yeah.
Where you're still. I mean, I don't know. You tell me, especially.
Well, I feel like you did a good job because I feel like what would have happened if you would have been this like hard ass, I'm your coach now, I'm above you type of person. I feel like our class and like the people you played with would have slowly like kind of lost respect.
Yeah.
In that sense, because it would have been like you're doing that whole thing of, oh, I'm above you.
Yeah.
But you did the thing like, no, we're still in the same field, same playing field, but I'm just your coach now.
Yeah.
So
I'm just here.
And it was fun to have you in the weight room.
Yeah. You like that?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a good time. It's fun now.
Still the same type of lifting? Still
Nope.
got those 6 a.m. lifts though?
Still got the 6 a.m.s.
I've been getting back into the not 6 a.m. but 6:30 a.m. lifts. So now I've started this week. It's been probably 9 months. I was talking to Sierra about it today. I was like, when did I? She's like, I don't know if you really worked out when we met. And I was like, oh, I still have my gym membership, and I went like a few times here and there, and then I ended up canceling it because I wasn't going. So I was like, I'm spending like, why am I going to blow money when I'm not going? So I was like, I canceled it and quit working out. But I like we talked about upstairs, like I just thought, oh, work's a good enough workout. Yeah. But then the other day I was carrying coping, no different than I've ever done. And I was walking around. Yeah, I was trekking through freaking 2 inches of mud, but I was like out of breath. And I was like, why am I out of breath? Like, why am I struggling? And I was like, because I haven't been working out. And my boss has been wanting to get back into working out. And he had already like a rack and everything and some weights and a bar, bench and everything. So he was like, he already had a shop and he was like, let's just start coming in. And I was like, so now we go in an hour and a half before work, get our workout in. I change real quick.
Oh, that's nice.
And then because I'm like, I'm going to get sweaty at work anyway. So I don't really need to shower. Yeah. So like we just work out before work. But I was talking to him the other day. I was like, right now we're starting at 8 because it doesn't get daylight and we can't do anything. It's too cold and stuff in the morning. So we're starting at 8, but in the summer we start at 7. I was like, are we still going to work out in the morning? That means we have to be here at 5:30. That means I have to be up at like 4:30, 4:45. Jesus. I think we're going to try it and see how it goes. Yeah, but that's the thing is like, I'll do better. After work. I won't. I'll be too tired. And
You're already
I'll
there.
make excuses. So today I almost skipped because it was leg day and I was dreading it because I haven't done legs in so freaking long.
You just need it once a month, baby. Just need it once a month.
I need to get back into it because I can't be walking around like I got to stick up my ass at work.
Yeah. Just do running. Just run a little bit here and there.
I'm going to do that as well because there's a whole separate building that's empty pretty much. So we're going to probably just run sprints in there.
Yeah. Just do a little here and there.
And he likes to mountain bike a little bit. Nothing like crazy.
Jesus.
But I've always wanted to get into it. And Chase, the guy that I'm having on next week, that mountain bike race and stuff, I'm going to talk to him and be like, so if somebody was going to start out, what would you? I want the beginners. Like, I want the beginner's course.
Yeah. Give me a plan. No, I don't think you need to like a workout as. You worked out as an athlete. There's no reason to work out as an athlete. Now it's just for betterment of life.
Like that's the thing. Like we're not trying to get like freaking huge. Like we just want to stay in shape, stay active,
not get diabetes.
Yeah, R.I.P. Jesse.
His is incurable. Huh? But his is incurable. He's got the
I know.
Got the bad one.
And that's crazy to look at, like, because he's been on the podcast and we've talked about it on the podcast, like a healthy, working out all the time person, just all of a sudden gets diabetes.
It's in the genes.
Yeah,
He's got type 1
that sucks.
somehow. I don't know how, because
I'll never forget the first time that he
stuck a needle in his leg.
and I was like, it was the first time I was on an overnight, and I stayed with Cam and Jesse. So I was sitting there, and Jesse pulls out a needle and sticks it in him, and I'm like,
Steroids.
and he looks at me and goes, "I'm a diabetic," and I was like, I thought he was doing steroids.
Yeah, you can believe it too, because how big he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's freaking jacked. Like, he looks really good now too.
He is huge now.
He's he'll send me those Snapchats of him in the mirror, and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's kind of his deal. Is he goes to work, works out.
Carlos has also gotten very big.
Yeah, but that was always Carlos's thing. Is he always wanted to compete, and whatever. He got away from football after we graduated and got more time to focus on it. But that was always his thing. I'm actually surprised he stayed in Ohio.
I am too, because he moved around. So he was Washington.
Yeah,
Florida?
he went to high school in Florida.
Yeah, but it wasn't him and AB they met in Washington, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but his dad's also
Yeah,
huge. So
yeah, genetics
runs in the family. That's why I drink beer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, your dad can throw them down. Your mom can too.
And they're the happiest people always. Like
The happiest people.
That's somebody brought it up to me. It
I was
like,
thinking about that the other day.
You've
actually.
never been around a bad drunk. Like all of your family that drinks is always happy. And he's like, that's why it's so easy for you to drink. Like you're just like, it is like it.
Oh, it's my happy time.
It's my happy time. Happy hour is real.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Your mom and dad. But
Even as a kid, I never remember them ever getting mean, mad. Like I never was abused. Like it was always good.
But even sober, they're like the happiest people.
Yeah, God.
Which is awesome.
60-some years old, and I still say they can outwork me.
Yeah, your dad's. Is your mom working too?
Yep.
She gonna retire?
After my dad, probably. She'll work a little bit longer.
So they're not retiring ever.
I don't know.
Just gonna work.
They talk about it, but
they're probably just because all the kids are out.
They're probably getting close, especially, since they are an empty nest. They have no kids in the house. Mom watches grandkids on Fridays.
Oh, really?
Every Friday.
That's awesome.
Unless she, once a month, usually, I think she usually has to, go in to work on Fridays for, inventory or something, whatever she has to do. So she has to work like that. But that was one of the things she told when she went, because she got that job my sophomore year of high school. And she, going in, told them, I will not work Fridays.
That's awesome.
Because that was what we grew up with. I remember on Fridays going to my grandparents.
Yeah.
Instead of, mom was a stay-at-home. She had a job, but she was a stay-at-home mom. She did greeting cards where she'd literally go into Meijer and stuff and put the happy birthday cards. She'd restock them. That's what she did. But she made her own hours pretty much, and just as long as she got everything done, she was fine.
Yeah.
So she could work. She was always at home in the mornings, get us on the bus or take us to school, whatever we needed. And then, when we were at school, she'd go do work and then be home when we got home.
That's really nice.
But then she got that once I got into high school and stuff. She ended up going and getting a different job and getting that. And that was one of the things she told him, I'm not working Fridays. She's watch the grandkids, which I don't, for a while, sometimes I was like, you have 6 of them here.
Holy smokes.
I mean, there's 8
Yeah,
total.
but you got the land and stuff.
Oh, yeah, but it gets harder in the winter because, they're pretty much stuck inside.
Yeah.
But now she only has 2 of them, I think.
Oh, only on the Fridays?
Yeah, because they're all starting to get to the school age. So she's not really going to be watching them much longer, but I don't know.
Until you start popping them out.
Yeah. You got to pop them out, too.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Maybe you shouldn't.
Thought thought about it.
You've grown up a lot, so it'd be a lot better now.
Yeah, I'd take him anywhere. We would dress the same. If I had a son, we would dress the exact same.
I believe it.
I would get him
could see it.
a pair of Air Force Ones, jorts. We'd rock the same chain.
Be looking like Co Wetzel Jr.
Yeah, same throwback old hats. We would just go everywhere together.
Oh, I never finished my Co Wetzel story though.
Oh shit!
Way back to the beginning.
Circle back.
Yeah, it's a good episode when it circles back. But no, my boss is like, have you ever heard of is it Co or Coey? And I
It's
was
actually Roper.
is that his real name?
Real name's Roper
And I was like,
Wetzel.
it's Co, and he's like, yeah, Co Wetzel. And I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard of him. He's like, I just found him the other day. He's like, I can't stop listening to him.
The best
And I was
stuff
like,
ever.
yeah, I told him the whole story. I was like, Teddy, literally
Yeah.
what we talked about. I was listening to the mainstream. You introduced me to Co, and then all of a sudden it just led into a whole different
Lights
world
up.
of music.
It's like God coming in and talking to you.
But it helped because I felt like one of the early adopters
Yeah,
because now all this is popular, and it's like I've been listening to him since this album.
Yeah.
Like I've known about him for a long time.
I'm listening to him since high school, and all you people are finding it out. Seeing him live is.
I wanted to go see
fantastic.
him. He was in Columbus, but
Yeah,
it was part of the COVID
October.
deal where you had to
wear a mask.
either vaccine or negative test.
Oh dang! You had to
It
bring
might
a
have been-
card there.
It may have been the facility he was at,
Oh,
but I know certain artists wouldn't go, like wouldn't perform there if that was the case.
that's
They said-
ridiculous.
They literally, because Granger did it. He said, I'm not playing anywhere that requires you mask. Fine, whatever. But I'm not requiring a vaccine. I'm not requiring a negative test. Because I mean, let's be real. You've been to concerts and you know, like when you're at concerts, it brings people together. Yeah, you might have a few fights here and there, but it brings people together. And like usually everybody has a good time. Like
Yeah.
it is.
You kind of forget about the outside
Yes.
world.
And it's a whole different world when you're at a concert because it's like, holy crap. And
Mhm.
I've had a couple artists on now. I've had two that have came to the house. We've recorded and they've played on the podcast. Dude, it is one of the coolest things to sit here and be like, I'm getting my own live concert right now.
Yeah.
Like literally, I'm sitting here watching this. You know, they're not.
That one guy that was playing the guitar was pretty good.
I've had two that have played the guitar. So
I just saw him. He
The
was,
recent one?
recently,
yeah, Preston. Yeah, he actually. He's only 19, and yeah, he's.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, he was cool. Him and his buddy came and we recorded. It was a cool episode.
Jesus,
But
19.
yeah, and then the other one, Alan Carl. That was Preston Cooper.
That's a country singer name.
Alan Carl.
Alan Carl. That is hands down.
Yeah,
That's his real name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was born to do. Can't do anything.
He's
else.
a cool guy. He's coming on for another episode. He's already been on once. He's coming on for another one, and then he'll be on for a drinking episode as well.
Nice.
If I don't quit drinking by then.
No one will.
What's up, everybody? I hope you're enjoying today's guest. A lot of people ask me how they can support the Roughnecks Podcast. So I wanted to take a quick break to tell you the best way to support the podcast is to buy and wear merch. We have merch available on our website, from hats, t-shirts, long sleeves, sweatshirts, and even coffee cups. There are even youth sizes available for the kids. Head over to roughneckspodcast.com and make your purchase today. Thank you for all the support, but let's get back to today's guest.
What is it? Why Ohio recruiting?
Yeah, what's the recruiting life like?
Oh dang!
Because is this year like when you really got into? I mean, I know you did it a little. Like you
Oh, last year
last year was like when you
Yeah.
really got into it.
I recruited the. Not to toot my own horn here, but newcomer of the year.
Nice.
This year it's really changed. I mean, it was changing a little bit.
Well, when we were texting about coming on and recording, you were
Yeah.
like, "Sorry, I've been in like 4 different states in 5
Yeah,
days."
Yeah, I just moving around everywhere.
But I bet that's kind of well. You've
It's
also
awesome.
been around. Like you would drive from Texas to
Yeah.
Ohio and stuff. So
Arkansas is beautiful. I'm ready to speak of that.
It's funny that you say that. The episode that just dropped today with Dan literally, we talked about how you say Arkansas is beautiful and is an underrated state.
I will stand by that. It's very people like Nashville and Tennessee, but no, Arkansas is underrated.
I think I'm going out west next summer.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
No, not like for good. Just
to
vacation.
Venture?
Yes, a vacation.
Where? Cali?
Not that far west.
Montana? Where?
We don't know yet.
Colorado?
Me and Sierra, because we talked, we're like, we save money for the beach because our family goes every 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't we just do the same thing? And like on those years in between that we go,
do your own trip.
We go to a different state. Like we go to Montana. She wants to go to New York during Christmas time. Like, why
would not do that?
I want to do things, so I'll let her do a couple of things.
Would not.
We will never. That. I'll do it once. That's what I've always heard about New York. You go once and then you're done.
Yeah, I would not.
You don't ever want to go back. It was cool. You don't want to do it again.
Yeah. With the way the rats are there.
I know. I'm going to struggle with New York, but.
New Mexico was awesome. I love New Mexico. New Mexico was it's up there. Santa Fe and what was that other place we went to? The Aliens.
I don't know
either. I think it started with an R. That place was good. Cali was
different.
I liked it though. The weather was awesome. Yeah. Gas was horrible, and I paid $7 for a can of Copenhagen. That was a little annoying.
$7.
Yeah, it was like $7.30.
And we think like $5 is bad here.
Yeah, it was. We stopped at like a Chevron, and the guy who was behind the counter was a shorter guy. So he had to climb a ladder to get it from the top shelf in the back, and came down and rang it up, and it came out to like $7.30 or like $7.45 or something.
That's usually me with like a Monster.
Yeah. And
a can of chew and something else.
You get like a bag of chips or something. Yeah. And in my brain, I was like, I do not, like, this is ridiculous. But then I was like, well, he went up that ladder and we're here. Kind of don't want to make him go back up there again, so I bought it. But it was beautiful. The water's cold, but it's clear.
When did you go, though?
We went like February, March time.
Well, it kind of makes sense then.
No, well, it's the Pacific. So I mean,
what's up, crazy?
So I mean, it's always cold.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know much about waters.
No.
Yeah.
You ever been to like the ocean, like where you can like see everything, like see your feet and shit?
Yeah, we were down in Tampa, and whatever. Like that was like the clearest water I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah, and that was actually a really good trip. Been
is it kind of cool though, like the recruiting, like to be able to go to these other states and
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I think it's and I'd never really been one to travel, but like, yeah, it's going to different states and seeing just different stuff.
I mean, how many states do you think you've been through, whatever
total?
What states can you say you haven't been to?
I haven't been to?
Yeah.
Good question. South Carolina and Montana, Washington, the Dakotas.
What is in the Dakotas?
There's a highway that's like
do you understand how dumb that sounds? No, I'll let you finish, but do you understand when you just say that?
So listen, it's like the Autobahn, in Germany.
Yes,
but it's like the redneck, just a white trash version of it. It only goes like a quarter mile, but you can go as fast as you want to on this highway. I don't know if it's in North Dakota or South Dakota. It's in one of the Dakotas.
Oh man!
And then outside of that, I don't know, Buffalo.
All right,
but
I mean, Buffalo's a city, but
I was talking about the actual animal in the Dakotas.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like
bison. Is that what they are?
I mean, Buffalo is technically right.
What is the difference between a bison and a buffalo? Yeah, I don't know. I've definitely enjoyed traveling. I like it a lot. But recruiting is it's especially like with the NIL deal happening and everybody transferring and going places. Like it's definitely different with how you got to talk to kids.
Do you have NIL experience already at Ohio Wesleyan, or is that not a thing?
Like can we offer kids stuff?
Not like have you had any players so far that
Yeah. Meese did something with what's that? It's like for water. What's it called?
Liquid IV?
Yeah. Meese had something with Liquid IV. I think a couple guys had like little small businesses here and there.
So basically, like what I have with the podcast, where they have like a promo code. And
You get a free
It's
stuff.
nothing like crazy.
But I mean, hats off to them. I'm glad they get to do that, make a little bit of side money. But...
I mean, technically, I wasn't even allowed to do the podcast in college.
Oh, really?
I couldn't make money off of it.
I didn't know that.
When I was like because when we were there without the NIL, if I'd have made money
off your name,
being a college athlete,
yeah.
But I wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't promoting it, so
yeah. I don't know. I think that the hats off to NCAA should anybody that got penalized for that, they should be given back.
Well, like like you look at what is the problem if, all right, you have this D1 athlete, but they stream video games,
like a Twitch,
and they make money off it. Like, why is that a problem?
I don't know.
But you can make video games with them on it. Oh, it doesn't have their name on it, and they don't make a dime from it.
I never understood. Part of it was like, oh, we're paying for your education, like technically, like you belong to school.
Yeah, but not all those kids were getting their education paid for. Like you had walk-ons, you had people that had partial scholarships. Like not everybody got those. But I'm glad that it is nice to see players being able to make money. But I think at the college level, I feel like there should be a cap.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but
because all right, let me ask you this. Here's the only reason I say this. Let me ask you: if I was like, "Hey, here's a brand new car when you're 18 years old," like there has to be some type of, and it's hard because like what do you put on it? Like what is the limit? Where do you cut it off? Because there's always going to be people that fight it, but it's if I was 18 years old and somebody gave me $1 million deal, I'd be like, I would blow it. I wouldn't know what to do with it.
That's why I think there should be essentially parameters cap, but especially with the D1s and Ohio State, I think is one of the only programs that has an actual own department.
Yeah.
Where they're helping kids
learn about it. Here's what you should do. Yeah.
I think that's what it needs to be, because especially at like that level with those kids, like those kids are going to go on to play, professional football. So getting them to understand like the wording of contracts.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. They might sign something that they don't know what they just tied themselves into. And you have to have some type of teaching, some type of, like, they have to learn a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Because let's be like, how many times do you read the fine print?
Never.
And it's very easy for somebody to slip something into the fine print or slip it into the conversation. Like, yeah, we're going to give you, this new car, but you have to do this, and this. Just sign here.
Yeah.
And like, it's legal. It's 100%. It's messed up, but it's legal. And it's hard because like an 18-year-old, we don't know what.
Yeah,
we don't understand that stuff at 18. We're just like, cool, somebody's giving us stuff.
Shit, yeah. I don't know. I think it's beneficial, but yeah, it's got to be a teaching lesson.
Yeah.
And I think like boosters got to understand that like this kid is not going to be here forever.
No.
Like if this kid had like the whole thing with CJ Stroud, him not declaring yet, and part of it is like apparently there's like an NIL deal that he's waiting on. But like like CJ, someone like CJ, like right now he's gonna be either one or two.
He could get this NIL deal, or he could go make millions of dollars guaranteed for a couple of years at least.
Yeah. But I personally think, and I don't know if it's because like I think you Ohio State fans are crazy, but I don't think CJ Like, if he comes back, he's going to hurt his draft stock.
I believe, yes,
Yeah.
100%. Unless he played like he did in that Georgia game.
Which I doubt it.
Because he didn't play like that all year.
Well, that was been his thing. You guys played, I think it was USC in the Rose Bowl.
Utah
in the Rose Bowl last year. He's the same thing. He balled out. But, I mean, he really
But his
wasn't
receivers that came out of nowhere balled out, and that nobody had a ton of film on them.
Yeah.
That helped as well. But yeah, like watching that Georgia
Yeah.
game, I was watching him, and I was like, where has this been all year? Like, you were literally showing that you can do it. Why? Like, you can run.
Yeah.
He
He's
hasn't
done a
hardly
very good
ran.
job.
That's always one of the things that I've struggled with C.J. Stroud with is, like, I saw it last year. I think it was the Michigan game last year where, like, he'd, like, throw it out of bounds. Nobody's in front of him. He needed 5 yards for the first down.
Go get it.
Like, dude, we're not asking you to get tackled. We're asking you to run for at least 3 of the yards on second down.
Yeah.
And run out of bounds. Like, we don't care. We don't want you to get hit. Like, I'd rather you not get hit. But just get a couple
do
yards
it.
instead of throwing it away.
I think, especially with
But that also comes with experience.
I think he's a very experienced guy. Played in big games.
Mm-hmm. Let's be real. If you go to Ohio State and you play, you're getting a lot of experience because you're playing against top 10, top 4 in the college playoffs, in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
You're playing against. You're getting very good experience.
Yeah, but you're only like in conference. You're only playing like 2 good teams. I don't know why, but I think
don't make me go in on Oklahoma this year.
Yeah, it's a rebuild.
It's bad.
Lincoln Riley is a horrible human being. But I don't know if I can say that either. Huh?
Didn't he just get fired?
No. USC paid him $1 million.
Not Lincoln Riley. Who was the guy? Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got that. He never won at Tech. He was the head coach of Tech for 6 years, never won, and had Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. At one point, his quarterback room, great recruiter. He was a great recruiter. But at one point, his quarterback room was Baker Mayfield as a starter, Patrick Mahomes,
that's right.
And who's old buddy? Was it Jared Goff? I think it was Jared Goff.
No, I thought he went to like North Dakota State or something.
No, Goff was Cal. But I think he was at Tech before he went to Cal. There was another really good quarterback in that room. But even just off that, like Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes were in your quarterback room.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. And you couldn't win games? It's wild.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but it's weird with college football sometimes. Like, I feel like we're starting to see a little bit of a shift. I think Alabama's going to be back. It's Alabama. But I don't think they're going to be the powerhouse that they were. Did you see the national championship when they were like talking pregame and stuff or halftime or whatever?
Yeah, Pollock talking to Saban.
And he's like, Georgia's taking over college football.
Yeah. Which he's not wrong.
But
Saban's got to just change his coaching style. I think that's it.
I think he's got to change his recruiting a little bit.
No. They
NIL.
still have one of the top 5 recruiting classes.
What bothers me is, like, did you see the thing where Alabama players posted something about you guys didn't want Georgia to win the national championship, but you didn't let us in to beat them? You had 2 losses.
Yeah, but see, I'm on the train of you look at who they played, and you can't argue that the SEC is.
They're the best conference in college football.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to fight that and say the Big Ten is, but the Big Ten has gone so downhill.
Yeah, you guys are.
They used to be, you used to have Wisconsin. You used to have Michigan.
What do you mean used to? Michigan runs the Big Ten.
Now. Okay, but Michigan, at that point when Wisconsin and stuff was good, Michigan was kind of
down.
And then even Michigan State, Ohio State
was good.
Nebraska was used to be good. Like, you used to have a bunch of schools that were pretty good, that were in the top 25, and then now it's
downhill.
Penn State. Penn State's no longer the same ever, and it.
Yeah,
there is Joe Paul one of the most legendary, not the best, but one of the most legendary coaches of all time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's.
What he won a natty? Well, I think he won 2 natties,
and he won. Isn't he the all-time winningest coach or something? Like, or not winning? He won the most games.
Yeah.
but he was there for like fucking 60 years.
Yeah. Such a tricky subject. He is one of the best coaches of all time.
Yes.
That guy, period. But Alabama, you look at their schedule, they lost to Tennessee. At the time, though, Tennessee was
Number 2?
Number 1 or number 2, yeah. And their quarterback, if he didn't get hurt, probably would have won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Baller. And then they also lost to their second loss.
They lost the game they shouldn't have lost. Was it South Carolina?
Yes. But Spencer Rattler was hot, all that. But, I mean, you look at the SEC, and it's the Big 12. I'm a Big 12 guy.
Yes.
We don't play defense.
You guys just score.
Yeah.
It's normal to score 50, 60 points a game.
Yeah, it's air raid when weird running game scheme, and we don't play and if we play defense, it's like the TCU, the 3-2-5, all that stuff, or like the 3-3 stack. But it's like, it's not like we're playing much defense out there. So I don't. And TCU, I do think to be in the playoffs, like you gotta win your conference. Unless it's like a Georgia or an Alabama where these are 2 top
That's
teams.
what I was going to ask you. What do you think about the 12-team playoff?
I love it. And I love it just because it's more football, more opportunity. But that would make more sense if we were playing at a national championship and TCU went through a gauntlet to get there.
Yeah.
But they lost to Kansas State. They played a really good game against Michigan, but almost blew it at the end.
Also played off.
Yeah, I think it took them a minute to get hot. I think they got in winning that game, kind of figured.
But that third quarter?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It was fun to watch.
It was. Dude, it was literally, we were at Sierra's parents for New Year's, and I remember sitting there, and I looked at my phone and looked up, and 2 touchdowns had been scored. And I was like, What just happened?
Yeah.
It was touchdown after touchdown after touchdown.
J.J. McCarthy is a really good quarterback, I think. But I don't think TCU should have been there.
No.
And it's whatever. It's people can get mad about it and all this. They deserve.
I mean, yeah,
there,
they did what they had to do.
So lost on the stories. Yeah, it's a good story and all there, but at the same time, man, this is the national championship.
And I can't believe TCU. Everybody knew TCU didn't stand a chance.
Yeah,
it would have been a better game had Michigan won that game. It would have been a much better game.
Yeah.
I still think Georgia would have won. But I think it would have been I honestly think Georgia was by far the best team in the country this year.
100%.
I mean, they were one of the most unstoppable teams. I mean, there's a reason they went undefeated. There's a reason they won the national championship. So
I think it should have been Ohio State and Michigan, to be honest. Ohio State, I think, should have beat Georgia. And
do you think if Marvin, because this has been the whole thing that people have talked about, if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't go out, do you think they win that game? I think they have a better chance. I don't know if they still win.
No, it came down to the kicker. That's a game. It's a game, and I think everybody played really well. They had a great game plan, and it was one of those things where you kind of knew if it was going to turn into a shootout, it was going to be Ohio State's bag because that's just who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Ohio State finishes strong. Usually, if they get in that tight situation, they usually finish pretty strong.
I think just a passing attack overall, they have the better quarterback measurables and arm talent, and then they also have really good wide receivers to pair up with that.
Good God.
So I think that's what they wanted. That's what they got. But I think Day messed up the time management there, too, at the end.
A little bit. I think
should have gotten closer.
Yeah.
Call the timeout, get a little closer.
I think there was a time where I was like, call a timeout. Call a timeout.
Yeah.
Call your timeout or spike it. Do something. You have the time. It sucks that we would have definitely got that 4th down that we were going to fake it.
Yeah.
And he called a timeout. But that's very good coaching by Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
Recognizing it. But there's also the controversy that he didn't get it in time. But here's the thing is in the world that we live in, you can edit something so easy and make it look
different
the way that it's not really.
Yeah, Kirby's good, but it's tough, man. It's part of the game.
It's
part
hard
of the
to win
game.
a D1 national championship. It's hard to win any national championship, no matter what level.
Yeah. Well, hats off to Georgia. I think Georgia will be the new Alabama. Hopefully the 12, playoff team kind of changes the whole look of things. But I mean, you gotta recruit guys, and you gotta have, players make plays.
What do you think about Deion Sanders?
Love it. I'm a big Deion guy. Deion guy.
It's gonna be cool to see him
And
grow a team. Like, it's really gonna show what kind of coaching that he truly what kind of coach he truly is. Like, he's taken a team that I don't know how.
I think he has already shown he's a really good coach. Jackson State.
I don't know what they were.
HBCUs on the map.
I don't know what their record or anything.
They were never had an undefeated season. Never won the SWAC, or it'd been like 20-something years since they won the SWAC. Got top 5 stars, 4 stars to go to HBCU college.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I mean, he got the #1 recruit.
Yeah, and he followed him to Colorado.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I think he did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to put HBCUs on the map. He also did a really good job of helping the community and building that up. And I think, especially the football team, like, that's part of your deal.
Yeah.
But he has the #1 recruiting pitch outside of maybe Saban and Kirby, and it's, I'm Deion Sanders. Like, you want to come play for me?
And he's Showtime. Like, he's Showtime. He's flaunts it. Like, he's not afraid to be.
He's him.
And, like, you're gonna have those players that's what they want to do.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah,
I think it's he understands. One, both his sons going through a recruiting process. Both his sons being very good football players. He understands what this era of athletes are, what they want to see, all that. And I think he'll do it. I think he'll build it fast, man. I don't think it's a slow process. I think he'll do it.
Do you see them in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. His kid is a very, very, very good quarterback, and they brought weapons. He's built a fantastic coaching staff, bringing in the Kent State head coach as his OC. That guy brought his offensive line coach. His defensive coordinator is Thurman Thomas. Played in the league. Very good football player. Very good defensive minded. I think he's very fast. He's got all the pieces. Kids are going to want to play for him. He's doing it the right way, getting some high school kids, but also like, hey, we want to win now. The transfer portal is very important to us. Well,
especially starting out. Your first year there, you want some experience.
Yeah. And
because if you have players that just came off a 1-in-whatever season or whatever they did, they're off, they're down. You have players that are just out of high school. Like, we know what it's like coming out of high school thinking we can be top dog at the school.
Yeah.
It's a wake-up call. Like, you don't understand, especially at that D1 level where you're playing Oregon. You're playing literally people that are going to go play in the NFL.
Grown men.
And it's a different world. Like, it's not high school anymore. No. You may have been the best player in your high school. You may have been the best player in your state, but it is a whole different world.
The best of the best.
I mean, how many freshmen do you truly see come in that can just take over a game?
Yeah, zero. Not zero.
It's very few.
Yeah.
But, like, usually it's their second year.
Yeah.
That they have, like, the Bosa's or those kind of guys or Chase Young or whatever. Like, Ohio State, obviously. But
just list off all the good Ohio State.
That's what I think of. That's what I think of because that's what I know.
You said that, I immediately thought of, like, Brock Bauer or, like, Zeke. Zeke started as a freshman.
I don't know if he was a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He might have been.
Trevor Lance, true freshman. Baller.
Trevor Lance?
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence or Trey Lance?
Trey Lance. No. Trey Lance, I think, only started his senior year.
Really? I don't know. It's hard to come in and be a freshman and just take over. That's where getting the transfer portal is changing college football in general. But being able to bring in players that, are good players, already have 2 years of experience on the field playing at big time schools, it's a lot easier to throw them in and be like, I can trust them. I know what they're capable of. They just have to learn maybe the defense. They have to learn the new offense.
X's and O's, yeah.
And that's easy for somebody who's good. That's the easy part. Like how many players do you coach or that we played with? You see that like they understand it, they just don't have the ability.
Yeah, that's always the toughest part. And
It sucks so much.
But there's a role for it.
Yeah,
a trustworthy guy. But I don't know. I think part of it at that level too is like the bright lights, playing in front of all those people, and when you're on TV, and everyone can see all your mistakes.
Yep.
Right there.
It'll be on social media when you do it.
Yeah. So you got guys that can handle that. That's where it's at. What else is on this here spreadsheet? What is on? It's been a pretty good podcast.
Yes.
Is it just me hyping myself up?
No, it's been a good podcast. Okay. It's been a conversation, like less question based and more just conversation. Can you tell that we had a sports oriented podcast at first?
Well, now we're going to talk about life here.
Yeah, we're going to go into. You want to go into the final segments, or you want to talk about some more shit?
Whatever, man. Your show. I'm just here.
Biggest lesson from college.
Biggest lesson. Biggest lesson. I got two. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I think the first one is the majority of people in your life are going to be cyclical. People come in and out all the time.
That might be the smartest word I've ever heard you use.
Yeah. How about we're gonna end there? Never mind. Yeah, I think majority of people in life are gonna be like it's they come and go, and you just got to make the most of the time that they're in your life, whether it's family members or friends or whatever.
I mean, look how close our room was our senior or your senior year, my junior year. Like we were so close.
Yeah,
like we were
extremely
like brothers.
Yeah.
Like we literally lived like brothers, and then now we all hardly talk. Now we'd still do anything for each other,
here and there, yeah.
But like you don't talk hardly at all anymore.
Yeah, and then but I think the best part about that is going back to like what you said is we would do anything for each other. Like if you called me and you're like, dude,
I'm broke down on I-71.
Yeah, like I would come pick you up, but it's we made the most of the time we had. We had a damn good time doing it, and it brought us closer, and that's why like picking up and like whatever. I know if I like you like with you, Nate, Jesse, even Dan, in the twins, but like I know at any point in my life, like if we sat down and like got food or called on the phone, like it like wouldn't be like it would just be the same.
Like us recording
right now, yeah.
Like literally, like, we haven't talked. Like we've texted here and there, but like we haven't like actually seen each other and talked, and like I had a full blown conversation in like a year, and it's like
nothing's changed. So I think that's that, and then the other one I think is. No.
I figured you were going to say take care of your body.
Yeah, take care of your body. Yeah, don't do dumb stuff. Yeah, life comes at you fast. Yeah, I think the other one is just, it's good to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that from a little bit from a football standpoint, but like.
I mean, leaving Texas and coming to Ohio.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable.
And I wouldn't regret it. Or I don't regret it.
I wouldn't change it, but like it's. I mean, it was kind of life changing for you.
Yeah,
literally. Because like, did you expect out of high school to be coaching in Ohio?
No, I was going to work the oil field. Cole.
We have talked. That's part of the reason that this podcast was named Roughnecks.
Yeah, that's those are the guys that work on the oil field. Yeah, that's what I was going to do, but no. But I think you put yourself in positions where you got to make some hard decisions, and sometimes that's a good thing, and it turns you into a better man for it, or a better person, I guess. I think those are my two, biggest things I learned in college.
Uncomfortability is Yeah, it's motivational. It's the stuff that a lot of people talk about, but there's a reason you hear it so much. There's a
Yeah.
reason you hear people like David Goggins, Jocko, like you hear them talk about getting uncomfortable. There's a reason they're in the position that they're in. It's because they went through things where they did not want to do it. They did not want to be like, I'm sure Goggins doesn't want to go run or doesn't want to go do these things all the time, but
Is that the guy that was fat?
yes, which you're not a reader, are you? I've turned into a reader.
No, I am not a reader. I don't have time to read.
10 pages a night.
That's insanity.
When you're going to bed, like when you're laying in bed at night, read 10 pages.
Why?
Read good book. Like, I mean, I've read,
What is the point? What is the point?
you learn.
What am I learning?
I've learned, it inspires you as well. Cause, like I read, I don't know if you know who Cameron Haynes is.
He's a country singer.
No,
That's Chris Gaines,
Chris Gaines,
which is also
Granger Smith's tour manager.
no.
Well, that's his YouTube name is Chris Gaines.
But you know who Chris Gaines is?
Name sounds familiar.
I'm not gonna say who it is yet. Garth
But,
Brooks.
you know, they talk about being uncomfortable, and it's for a reason because you grow the most when you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like when we were put in uncomfortable situations in football, we got stronger.
Got better.
We learned things. We got better. When you're put in uncomfortable situations in life, you grow up. And some like you have to put yourself in those situations. Like there's very few, like I don't want to say opportunities, but instances where somebody just forces you in to this uncomfortable situation, whether it's at work, whether it's with your girlfriend, whatever it is. Like sometimes you having a hard conversation with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You need to have the conversation, but you're scared to because you know it's not going to be a good conversation. It's going to make you uncomfortable. You know, it's easier just to be like, let's just push it
Pass
aside.
it.
But if you have that conversation, you could grow as a couple.
Yep, 100%.
I mean, that's just one example, and there's millions of examples that you could give for it. But like, that's just being uncomfortable is a very important thing in life. And the people that stay in their comfort zone stay where they're at. I mean, we can look
Stay
at people that
complacent.
we graduated with, and that what are they doing?
I think everyone's pretty successful.
But like, those are the people that you see. The people that aren't successful, you don't see them on Instagram. You don't see them on Snapchat. You don't see them posting that stuff because it's like
They're in the same spot.
I'm in the same spot I was 3, 2, whatever, however many years ago. I don't want to post about that.
Sad, honestly, but yeah.
Like, how many people did we go to college with? Because Dan even said he's like, I don't even know. I can't even remember half the people that I went to school with anymore. And I'm like, well, like you remember certain people like the twins, like Jax, you like Zane, like you remember those people.
Yeah.
But those are the people that succeeded.
I can't. Who was that young man? What was his name?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
He's
We
in
played
your
with a
class.
lot of people over 4 or 5 years.
He'll come to me probably at the end of this.
Yeah, I mean college is I never thought, and I'm sure you were the similar way, like I was going to college. Like I never thought I'd get a degree.
Yeah, I never thought I'd grow up. I guess.
Well, or there's times where you thought you were grown up, but you weren't.
Yeah, until you get that first bill, that first truck payment.
I was gonna say that for you, that was definitely a truck payment.
This is awful.
Yeah. When I moved in here, I was like, that's when I grew up a lot more. Is when I moved in with Sierra because I was like, I have bills, I have housework.
Yeah,
Like
I got
it's
a
no
human
longer,
I got to take care of.
yeah, like it's no longer just, yeah, mom and dad will cook dinner, or I'll just make pizza rolls.
Or I'll just have a whole case of beer to
Yeah.
myself.
Like, well, I feel like that was also the thing. Now I look at it like I'll buy 12 packs sometimes instead of the 30 racks.
Way to grow up, Cole.
That is
Thank
growing up.
God.
But no, it's like you look at money differently because you're spending it on other things. It's like I'd rather save the money and put it towards vacation, or
Yeah.
I'd rather save the money and put it towards redoing the basement. Instead
That's you know what that is also called,
what?
Cole. It's called love.
Shut up. I do love her. She's an awesome girl. Can't complain one
Yeah.
bit.
She deals with you.
Yeah. My mom still asks her how she does it.
I-
You dealt with me for a year.
yeah. Yeah, but I could just hand you a beer and tell you to shut up.
Or you could just go in your room and close, the door.
I have to
And then I had to
share a
sit,
house.
and then I just had to sit in the room with Dan like, is he mad at me?
I don't think we ever really got mad at each other.
No, I really don't think anybody ever really got mad at each other. It was just fucking. That was. I mean, I don't think I ever really got mad at any of my roommates. Of course, I lived with Dan 3 out of 4 years. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I lived Dan, and then we had two. Blaine, linebacker.
Blaine?
I don't remember what it started with a B. Something Wagner. He was a linebacker for a semester, and then Sam Cooper.
Sam Cooper?
They lasted a semester. They both played football.
Who is Blaine?
I don't remember Blaine Wagner or something. He was a linebacker, but yeah,
I don't remember any.
They were our roommates, mine and Dan's roommates freshman year, and then we got Trey after.
Trey?
Not Trey, you know Trey, but kind of not like no Trey. You knew who Trey was because you came to our room.
I don't know who. Oh, he's that swimmer.
Yes,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember Trey.
yes, and then
Something happened with him, right?
yes,
Was it bad, Cole?
we talked about. Remember,
No, I just want you to say.
it's getting cut out. I can edit all those
okay,
out.
that's
So,
good.
yep, that's all getting cut out. And then sophomore year, I lived by myself in Stye, which was awesome.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I lived by myself.
No, that was
Remember?
not awesome for you.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Sophomore year was fucking awesome.
No, it wasn't.
Why?
What are we talking about? Where did we get to?
Roommates never get mad.
Oh, yeah, never got that.
How was it living in HSA though? Because you live with how many people?
I don't know if I can talk about that.
But you guys live with a ton of people, so I feel like that was a little different living circumstance.
It was the same. I mean, whatever, between classes and everybody was still
Well, and
like
you
athletes.
could still go to your room and just
Yeah.
get away from everybody.
Yeah, Kate and Tommy kind of ran that whole thing. They're having kids,
Yeah, I just saw that.
but they were. To be honest, I should not have been in that house. I don't think anybody should have that I associated with, but it was whatever. It was nice. I think we abused it a little bit.
Yeah, and then your senior year was.
The best time of my life.
I was so excited for my senior year.
Yeah.
So excited for it. I was like, damn, this like junior year was awesome, and then senior year I was like, this
Damn.
sucks because COVID.
Yeah, we.
You weren't even allowed to, like, when we moved in, you weren't even allowed to leave your room. Like, they brought us, like, when we first moved in, until your test came in, they would bring us food
Oh, really? I
and
didn't
drop
know
it
that.
off. They bring us food and drop it off, and you had to go and grab it out of the study room.
Oh, that's awful.
Awful.
What if somebody took two?
You could. You had to get there early. Like, you had to get there quick.
Oh,
But
I didn't
luckily,
know any of
when we
that.
moved in, there wasn't many people there at the beginning.
Yeah, camp and everything.
But then eventually, like once people moved in, I think is when they started doing dining halls. But it was like grab and go.
I didn't know any of that. That's awful.
But it was nowhere near this.
Jeez, yeah,
And-
the
and,
COVID. was-
And freaking what's it called? Smith wasn't open. Remember they were renovating,
renovating
Smith
it,
my
yeah.
senior year.
So it was all Hamla.
Everything was Hamwell and everything was to go boxes.
Now it's taken off quite a bit.
Good.
It's
I'm
done a
glad.
good job.
I don't want people to experience like what we experienced our senior year. I really I felt bad for the freshmen that year. And I remember telling a few of them, I was like, dude, like this is not it. Like this isn't college. This isn't what we do. It gets better. I
A
promise.
lot better.
As long as this goes away.
You could have came back.
And paid more?
I don't think you would have paid more.
But that's my problem is I'd have gone back for one class that I needed.
Yeah.
To waste money, essentially, is how I viewed it.
What? How much? I mean, you were already in debt.
Yeah, but why?
So
add
what's
more?
another $2,000? It's not going to affect your payments.
It wouldn't have been $2,000 for me.
It would have been less.
More.
5.
I don't know. I was paying at least $8 a semester.
You could have been the missing piece. We could have won conference. You came back. Never know.
Who were the starting safeties that year?
It was
Chitty and Cam? Or no, Cam moved to running back.
It was Chitty.
Albers.
And Albers.
Yeah. Albers had a year. See, Albers had a year.
That's a good point. Could have been the demise to Albers' career. Never would have amounted.
I don't know. No, it was. I thought about it. It was funny because Dad wanted me to go back. Mom didn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't to me. Mom
Why?
loved football. She loved watching us play football. She loved it. I thought
Yeah.
she would, but Dad's like, you didn't have a senior year.
I think your mom though was she wanted you to start life.
A little bit. Figure out life.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will ever figure that out.
No, but let's move into the final segments.
All right, Bubba.
All right. I don't know if I think I have asked you this question, and this was the beginning of the episode when you and Jesse were on, but we're gonna ask it again and see if we get a different answer.
What is it?
If you could go back and tell your 16-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
What did I say last time?
What do you think you said?
Stay away from that girl.
You said don't get engaged.
Don't get engaged. Yeah. If I could go back.
All right, well, I'll change it for this episode since you've answered it.
What was I doing when I was?
I'm gonna change it. What would you tell your 16-year-old brother or 16-year-old sister?
Well, I told him to have as much fun as possible.
That's good advice.
But I did that when I was 16. So are you talking about something where I did and regret it?
Or anything you want to say.
Yeah, probably don't. The same thing I told my brother. Just don't date in high school.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Why?
What did you learn from that high school relationship? You learned a lot, didn't you?
I don't know if I necessarily learned a lot.
We learned what you didn't want
But I think that's something that could have been
later in life. Would you
just-
rather be doing that right now?
I don't. I think it could have been without. I think that I put myself.
I see what you're saying
through-
because high school relationships 9 times out of 10 do not last.
Yeah.
They do not last. Sierra's brother is one of the few. You don't see high school sweethearts anymore. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's very few and far between. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And there's for a reason. Social media is one of the reasons that it doesn't happen anymore. But also, you look at how much growing up do you do from 16 to our age now?
I think you do a lot of growing up, but I think it's I think as a 16-year-old, there's no point of you think about when you're dating somebody and it's I gotta think about, and I don't mean this in a selfish way, but I gotta think about these other person's feelings, how they think of me, appease them, make them happy within a relationship, and it's you're 16.
You should really be focusing on yourself at 16. You really should.
Yeah, and it's you're only in high school one time. You're only 16 one time. You're going through all that.
When you're 18, a lot of these kids you'll never see again.
Yeah,
enjoy it because you grew up with them for 18 years.
Yeah, and it's you can talk to girls here. There's no reason to a serious relationship will be there, and I think that's what college and your early 20s are kind of about. It's what do you want in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
but you're like you're still like you're just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're gonna like what are you gonna know? Like for me right now, it's like how are you financially? Like can you handle your money? You know, what do you want in life? What do you want to do? Yeah, or you want to be successful? What else do you want in a partner? Can you be organized? Can you be clean?
It's more about life than
Yeah.
just about the relationship while we're dating.
Yeah.
Like you're
What do you-
literally looking more long term when you're older than when you're 16. You're just like,
I don't like this girl.
it's
She
a
doesn't like
phase.
ketchup with her fries.
It's a phase.
Yeah.
It literally is a phase.
It's dumb.
But-
She doesn't watch football. I don't like her. It's like, well, it's dumb. And I think I would have definitely told myself if I were going back, I would definitely tell my 16-year-old self to not get into a relationship. I think that was the dumbest thing I did.
Makes
Probably.
sense.
I did a lot of dumb stuff.
But like, I feel like it's important to do dumb stuff. My parents let me do dumb stuff.
Yeah, my mom, shout out to her. She let me do a lot of dumb stuff.
God love your mom. She's a saint.
Saint. She was up here for the Denison game, homecoming game.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think definitely. But I don't know. I think especially you got to find that you're not going to find the right one until you are going through like life.
You have to go through your own life battles first.
Yeah.
Because you have to go through your lows. Like you're still going to have them. You're going to have them. It's inevitable. But you're going to. It's better when you have both been through lows, because you kind of know how to pick each other up. Like when that person's in that low. Shadira asked me the other day. She goes, "Why are you depressed?" I was like, "What?" And she's like,
"Why are you depressed?"
I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed.
This
But she's like,
turned
"You've
into-
just been off lately." And I was like, I don't even know what it is. But it's one of those that kind of, it makes you think, like,
Yeah, she can read you.
like, yeah, she can see it. And it's one of those things, like, you don't, like, yeah, I'm a little off, but you don't think about it. But when you really think about it sometimes, then it's like, oh, it's because I've been doing this, this, and this. Like, I need to, and I started work. I was mad because I skipped my first day that I was supposed to work out.
Mm.
And then I started working out, and I all of a sudden was happier. Like I was in a better mood. And it's crazy what working out will do. But it is same thing with her. I used to tell her all the time. I was like, I have to give you an hour after when she worked at the hospital. I was like, I have to give you like an hour to like cool down from the hospital because you're mad about this or mad about that. And I know you don't mean to like take it out on me, but like you'll do it sometimes.
Also, that's just a stressful job too. That's crazy.
But
Cucumbers.
It's been talked about on the podcast.
Oh, it has?
Yes, she's been on and talked about it.
What a guy. That's a guy you need on the podcast.
I don't want that guy on the podcast. I don't want him in my house. He's going to show up with a cucumber and be like, I'm not touching that.
Or a light bulb. Jesus Christ.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to Sierra McConnell's episode.
What a human.
But no, like, and then she got this, like, that's when she started seriously considering getting a different job. And then she got this new job, and I was like, she came home that first day, was like, hey, babe, how you doing? I was like, who are you, and what did you do with my girlfriend?
Yeah.
Like, where did you go?
What the fuck is going on?
Like, and ever since, like, she's been happy. Like, she used to hate working weekends. Now she has to work, every so often on the weekend. But she's, like, in and out of the house, so she doesn't have to, like, go into the office necessarily. Like, she has to go there a couple times and do some things, but she has to go to people's houses, and she's just like doesn't bat an eye. Like, all right, yeah, I got to work this weekend, whatever.
That's
like,
awesome.
She's happy, and it's cool to see. Like, and that sometimes when you've been through those lows, like I said, you can pick each other up. You can recognize those things, even if you don't know each other very well. You can just tell, like, this person's off.
Yeah.
Like, I've been through enough. We still have a lot of life to go through, but I've been through enough life. Like, I can recognize some things. Like, you're just acting different.
That's good. That's somebody that understands you 100% too.
Yes.
And all your mannerisms and all that.
Yes. But yeah, we're going to go into the best segment of the podcast, though, which
What
is
is that?
Motivation Monday. Motivation Monday is the point in the episode where I allow the guests to give the Roughnecks listeners a little inspirational bump to set the tone for their week as they listen on Monday morning. So what do you got for Motivation Monday?
I think it's done this before, and I think I'll have the same one, but it's just, enjoy life. You only do it one time, and same thing, like you're gonna go through highs and lows and obstacles and comfortable situations, but enjoy life while you can, and enjoy the people around you, and you gotta find the right people in your life, and you can't rush it. Can't rush life, and not everything's gonna come at once, but you keep grinding, working hard, and enjoying the time that you're in, or the time period, or whatever phase in life you're in, and enjoy it and move on.
3 things. 1, you only do it once.
Yeah.
And it can be gone quickly.
Very fast.
You can even have scares quickly.
Yeah.
The thing that instantly came to mind because it's fresh, there's 2 things that came to mind.
Don't talk about it.
Damar Hamlin.
God damn it.
But the other thing I thought of is Del Campo. But Del Campo, he had emergencies. Things can happen out of nowhere. Sierra's dad, 46, getting cancer.
That's young.
Things happen that are life-altering, that are life-changing, that it changes all of a sudden, and it's it makes you really think about life sometimes. It makes you realize that point of you only do it once.
Yeah, you do.
And one of the things, sometimes, as my mindset has changed as I've gotten a little older, and I look at, I'll start that tomorrow. But it's there might not be it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why not? That wood carving that I started doing, I was man, it's already 9 o'clock. I really just want to relay here and watch TV. But I was you know what? Might as well just get up and do it. Why am I going to waste my time sitting here watching TV? Yeah, it's good to relax, but I've been relaxing for an hour. Might as well just start something that could become an income, that could become a very
a little
hobby.
Side job.
Something that I enjoy doing that I didn't realize. Come to find out, I don't think I'm going to really like it. I think what I'm going to get into more is making things out of leather, but it's life happens fast.
Some
and
chaps. Leather chat.
I made a knife sheath.
Oh, that's pretty.
It was already. I'll show it to you. It's one of those things. Life happens fast, and if we sit back and say tomorrow, whether it's I'll spend time with my family tomorrow, I'll spend more time with them tomorrow, or I'll take the kids out and play catch tomorrow. Whatever it is, all of a sudden you're man, it's the end of the week, and I didn't do that.
Yeah, you regret it a little bit.
Yeah.
What were the other 2?
Taking things in. Me and Dan talked about this. On our last episode that we recorded. We said you were one of the people that really takes things in. We give you a lot of credit for that.
Oh, I do?
Yes. I feel like I do too.
How so?
Driving through Arkansas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
You'll be driving and just be this is awesome.
Yeah.
Most people just drive I just want to get through this state. I just want to get home. I just want to get to wherever you're going. I just want to get there. I'm similar to you, but if we're driving to North Carolina, I'm going to be man, that place looks cool. Let's stop.
Yeah.
I know we're on a time schedule, but let's stop.
Check it out.
That's what, when we go to North Carolina this summer, I plan to leave an extra 2-3 hours early. And so that way, if we do see something that we're let's just stop and hang out for get dinner here or whatever for an hour. And so it's 1, you don't feel rushed as much. And 2, enjoy those things. Cause they're not always there.
Yeah. And especially nowadays, cool spots come and go, especially mom and pop, different places.
Well, anymore, they're starting to shut down left and right.
Yeah. So yeah, I do agree with you with, taking things in.
But I can't remember my third one. Got nothing. I forgot. I did forget. It happens a lot on the podcast. That's usually why I have a notepad.
In life.
I usually keep a notepad on me, and as you're talking, I'll be sitting here going,
Oh, you don't need that for this. Not for me.
not for you, usually.
Just the
I don't know, maybe the beginning episodes.
the lower end.
I don't know. Our beginning episodes kind of went all over the place.
Yeah.
Especially fan speak. We had a script, but it just kind of...
I never used the script.
No.
You would,
I'd write things. Well, you
write
can
things
remember
down.
stats.
yeah.
You'd be like, he threw 34 for 20 or 30 whatever in for X 100 yards, and I'm like, what? Holy crap, he's right. All right. Anyway,
My
And
mom's
you'll-
always like, you should be a sports commentator.
and you'll literally be sitting there like, as I'm setting things up, about to record, just looking through a couple of things, be like, all right, cool,
ready to roll.
good. Yeah, I don't know. You do things differently.
Yeah, now I'm a little more organized and prepared.
Kind of have to be.
It's the best way to be honest. Now I hate going into a meeting not having answers or anything.
I mean, I have like 3 calendars. 4.
That's a bit excessive.
Okay. Yes. I have my Google Calendar for the podcast but I also use that because if I do virtually, I use the Google Calendar to send like the link that on the date that they were recording on.
Yeah.
That one is just for me, like when I'm working at the desk. So like it's right in front of me. I can see it like, oh, I have this recording on Thursday.
You're recording Ted on Saturday.
But that was when we didn't know what we were doing and noticed at question mark.
Yeah.
I didn't know the time yet, so I just kind of put that there. But then I have a personal calendar as well. That
Why?
the personal calendar is more for
Birthdays?
my day to day
Oh.
work or things I have outside of work, birthday parties because I have 8 nieces and nephews.
Yeah, I
and
guess
that kind of stuff. And
Forget
then
one day.
yeah, well, in September, like October, those months we have like 12 birthday
One after
parties
another, yeah.
because a lot of them were born around that time.
Because why? What would
I don't know.
trek it back 9 months? What's going on?
Well, 9 months from September would have been middle of winter. Would have been
There
like
you go.
December, January.
There you
Trapped
go.
in the house.
New Year's, Christmas,
Sure,
trapped in the house,
whatever. But
Kwanzaa. I don't
we
think
also have
that's-
some in like January, February. The boys were
Track it
born.
back.
The boys. It was weird because the first boy was born in January. Second boy was born in February. Third boy was born in March.
Track it back.
January, December, November, October, September, August,
June,
June, July, June, May,
May,
April, Easter. I don't know.
spring break, brother.
Oh, yeah, because my siblings had spring break.
Yeah. Springtime.
Oh, man. What's up, Waylon? All right, but hey, thanks for coming back on the podcast.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
Yeah, we'll have to definitely keep you back in it.
Yeah. Just once every
Sometime.
couple of years.
Yeah, there we go. If I'm still doing this in 2 years, I plan.
I mean, it's made it this far.
It's been what? It was September of 2020 when I started it, and now we're
Yeah.
into 2023.
And no one expected that.
No, we got some big guests lined up. Got some really cool things
Yeah.
coming
'em out.
next month or whatever.
It's a good thing you're doing this, man. I'm glad you've continued it and you're
It's
happy
helped
with
me
it.
a lot.
It's a nice hobby.
It makes
kind of.
me like the people I get connections. I get to talk to really cool people, and like it helps me with just talking.
Yeah.
Like I was never the person that was just gonna walk up to a stranger and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Hey, like and talk to them. I have a conversation with them, or like, I think that's such and such. I'd have been like, yeah, that's such and such. Like I'm not gonna go talk to them. Like if I'd seen a famous person or something, I wouldn't go talk to them. I wouldn't go ask for a picture or anything. But now, like Alan Carl, when I had him on, like the way I got him on the podcast, we were at a concert. He was the opener for Michael Ray. We were going to the bathroom. It was free tickets again. going to the bathroom, and Sierra was like, "Hey, there's the opener in his booth." I was like, "Yeah, I'll go talk to him." Nobody was there at that point, and I walked up and started talking to him, and we were talking. Come find out, he's a big hunter, and so we sat there, and he was showing me trail cam pictures on his phone and stuff.
You guys paying boys, huh?
But I was like, "Hey, I have this podcast, and I'd love to have you on." He's like, he gave me his card. He's like, "Yeah, just email this, and I'll get back to you, as soon as I can." Like, emailed him that next morning. He emailed me back the next day, and like, I would have never done that before I started this. And so yeah,
that's badass.
It helps a lot. But
hell yeah,
another episode in the books. Thanks for coming on. If you want recruited to Ohio Wesleyan, go talk to old Theodore Houlihan.
It's just Coach Ted.
Coach Ted.
Yeah. Later, chicklets.
Later, Oh my God, I forgot about it. I forgot about it. Later, chicklets. Long-time listeners will understand.
Yeah.
But with that, that's a wrap on this episode. And you guys know the deal. Life is hard, and it's going to knock you down just like a bull does to a bull rider. Don't let that bull of life walk all over you. Get up, grab the bull by the horns, and take control of your life.
Oh, that's good.
Roughnecks
that's good.
Out. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. If you liked today's episode, then please be sure to share it with a friend. You can follow the Roughnecks Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Roughnecks Podcast. Head over to roughneckspodcast.com and grab yourself some Roughnecks merch. Until next time, make sure you grab the bull by the horns and take control of your life. Roughnecks